Welcome to another episode of the True Beast Podcast, brought to you by xdog.com, where you can find the world's greatest health enhancement harness for dogs, the X-Dog Fitness Vest. Exercising your dog has never been easier or more effective than with the X-Dog Fitness Vest. But what makes it the world's greatest dog harness? Well, not will only get your dog in better physical shape, but it also supports mental health as well. Thousands of dog owners have utilized the X-Dog Vest to address anxiety or behavior issues and even depression. So if you're looking to enhance your dog's health, or give it an overall better quality of life, be sure to check out xdog.com. That is the letter xdog.com. And we are on episode what, guys?
64.
64.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of innovation within your business. A lot of times businesses get fixated on their original idea. And I tell people all the time, if Amazon still just sold books, it would not be Amazon today. So it's important that a business seizes the opportunity. And most people don't even know, gaming's come around, right? It's one of the biggest things going on right now. Every professional sports team got a gaming community or even a gaming center. And guess who owns Twitch? Jeff Bezos bought it, I believe, in 2014, 2015 for about $14 billion cash. And that's before anybody else saw where it was going. And we know he just got Grubhub as well. So you look at, and then he bought Whole Foods. You say, yep. How are you going to apply all this? Well, a business, and then he bought the Washington Post for $240 million. You go, I thought they just sold books.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be who they are. So talk a little bit about the things that you've invented based on your initial approach to the dog industry, and being hey, let's do the supplement thing. Then comes the vest. Then comes better supplements. Then comes, hey, let me reach out and touch a few more communities and see what else I could do to impact change.
Well, from the great words of Super Bowl champ, possibly the greatest football player of all time, Tom Brady, was asked a question. What was your favorite championship Super Bowl? And he said, the next one. And so it's the same thing here. I was asked that same question, like, hey, what version of the vest is your favorite? What product's your favorite? And I'm like, the next one, We initially started out with a daily multivitamin that we white labeled, and it's scaled up all the way to the world's greatest dog harness. So innovation is everything. I had a great meeting yesterday with an individual that I was trying to find someone like this for like the past 3 years. So every day I would ask the universe, literally, it's part of my gratitude and daily wish list is like, man, put me in the proximity of this type of individual. And now the mindset is even completely changing. And when it comes to innovation, now I'm not thinking about bringing in a container. I'm thinking about trying to move containers weekly and monthly and yearly, at a high scale. So,
and what does it take to do that? Because I don't think people understand how much a container can hold. A buddy of mine, we were talking about some of the things that are man-made, and if you ever get close to a container, people, I mean, like within arm's reach, those fucking things are literally amazing to be next to. Yeah,
it's not like what it takes, and what doesn't it take, You got to have the right network, you got to have the right connections. In a way, you've got to have the right relationships within those networks. Because, for example, I was on the phone with him, and he was pretty fucking adamant because he had an individual. His whole business is based off being remote. All his employees are remote. His mission is to make money and be happy. Like, that's their fucking thing, and have fun, And so, but he's the type of individual where I was on a Zoom meeting with him, and he picked up a call, and he's like, even if I have to go down there in the next 2 hours, I'll clear that container. You know what I mean? So he's one of those type of individuals who's going to do whatever it takes. And then if you run into any type of problems, he's going to be able to, you just got to be able to be able to handle it. I mean, I've never done it, but I know one of the first steps to making it happen is getting around somebody who is doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that's with everything in life. You want to get better at something, you got to put yourself in the proximity of people who are doing it.
So what then made you think that, hey, I should create a vest? Because if the supplements are rocking, like, it's banging out, I've got connections, then you think, well, I mean, where the outside, I know the story of, Triton being super driven and wanting to calm him down, but you go, man, what made you think about the vest as far as innovation is concerned?
I just got tired of hearing people saying, seeing certain companies out there just saying that all you need to do is give your dog a certain product to build muscle, and I knew it was bullshit. I knew that when it comes to building muscle retention, you have to break it down. You know what I mean? Like, sure, diet is everything, right? Like, you got to be, it's going to influence cellular development and health. But at the same time, that's just one element. You have to work out. And so I knew exercise was very valid and very important. And when you talk about one of the biggest problems in the pet industry is it's obesity and dogs being overweight. And so we weren't going to invent exercise, obviously, because it's been around for God knows how long. So what we wanted to do was, make exercising super easy and convenient for dog owners, which we did.
And I don't think you guys probably don't understand how hard it was to get a vest that could pull. I'm looking at the drag back, the parachute resistance bands now, but if ever you were in that old school working space, ADBA and love weight pulling, I mean, you'd have to sit in these measurements. It gets super complicated. The internet was still developing. There's no return for real. You got to measure out the chest properly, the neck. It just gets exhausting. So the fact that he found a way to basically make a small, medium, and large, an extra large, and some sizes in between to ensure, a snug fitted vest so that you could push your dog. There's people like myself out there that want to see how much, this dog can take on. So I'm a fan and appreciative of the invention, let alone the innovation that's still taking place. And now I'm sitting in the headquarters being able to watch it firsthand. As a person who was, before I ever met Stan, 5 years ago, I had this vest, and I still got that first vest to this day, and I wore the shit out that bitch.
Well, it's kind of crazy. I got hit up by a guy from Australia who does like certain type of disc dogs, and he just finally upgraded, and he had an original version 1 blue. And he says it's still good. I'm going to keep it on hand. The quality of the product now is like way better. But these past couple posts, like on this IG and stuff, guess what? One of the top questions we got out of that, all these posts about these contests and about the vest. Guess what the number one question was?
I have no idea.
Yeah, what was it?
Hey, will my dog slip out of this harness?
Oh,
like
that's a fair question.
It let me know that that's a big issue. There's a big issue. I don't know if it's just because they don't care about sizing,
Well, it's not snug, man. I mean, you could put a vest on, use that handle, grab the dog, and the dog can slip out like a sock falling off your foot. I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, I've dealt with it myself, so I know what they're coming from with that, because if you ever want to get a handle on a dog that's kind of driven, that vest will come off quick. Like, I'm telling you, man, it'd be a bad situation for you.
Yeah. I've never had that issue. Like, I've never heard of anybody having that issue with the X-Dog vest.
Well, and that's a beautiful thing, which is why I definitely endorse it myself, and I'm testing it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I put them on these Malinois, man, that we're boarding right now.
Yeah.
Put them on this morning because they were crying a little bit. I wanted to put them outside, so I put them on there for a little bit.
Yeah.
It calmed them down, bro. They stopped barking. They stopped whining, and then I went out there and played with them after the fact. But I was like, it's just right there. It's proof in the pudding, man.
Well, I mean, it all falls down into, that one pillar of, anxiety, psychology, and behavior. Dogs, like, again, we had a post just yesterday in the X-Dog group where this individual had a super hyper fucking boxer, and they utilized the vest on the boxer, and they just couldn't believe it. Like, people are just amazed the change of the behavior of the dog, and it's simply by just giving him a job. The dogs don't have a job. We talked about it on the live the other day. When you think about dogs, right, we make it super convenient for them to just live. So for example, when you think about coyotes or wolves or any type of predators, what do they do, Jamarcus? They wake up, and what do? They go hunt.
Yeah.
Right. So they're exercising, they're trying to be focused in hopes that one day that they'll get an opportunity during that time, that they're going to get an opportunity to get a kill to potentially eat. Now, once they make the kill, what do?
They eat, right?
They tear it apart.
Yeah.
They rip it apart. If they're in a pack, they're going to, like wolves, they're going to, battle for, hierarchy within that group. And then once they all eat, then guess what happens? They start licking each other, cleaning each other off. And then what? They calm the fuck down. Where us, we put food in the damn bowl and say, here you go. Don't even have to work, in most cases. And then, they're not exercising during the day. And then the people wonder why their dogs are having behavior issues. I mean, just imagine being in jail all day, and not being able to have nothing.
100%, man. And me as a new dog owner, and just being me in general, new to the dog space, that's one thing that I've learned, is that I grew up in an environment where literally, like, on the reservation, you would literally take a bowl of slop with some dog food in it and put it out there, and then they fend for themselves like wolves, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. So, like, when it comes to understanding, like, the energy of a dog and why sometimes like, these high strung dogs is because people aren't getting them out working with them. You got to work with them every single day.
Yeah.
And me as a new dog owner, that's one thing I've learned is like, man, like just like us, like if we just sit there all day long, you eventually want to get out and do something.
Well, think about cats in general, right? When you think of cats, how often do you, we hear it all the time. A cat has plenty of access to food, but it will still go hunt and kill.
Yeah.
Because it's just its genetic instincts.
Mm-hmm.
It won't eat the bird, may not eat the mouse or the rat, right? Or the rabbit. It'll just kill it just because on the psychological mental health side of it, it's in their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So then talk a little bit about invention or innovation, if you would. There's a lot of times where we go through these changes in life, right, people? And you have to become innovative in who you have to be. And $1 million, I heard a motivational guy talk. He was saying something. People don't understand what $1 million means. There's somebody you got to become. And there's somebody you got to be every day when you wake up. And imagine this. I use this all the time when I'm motivating my guys a little bit. I say, hey, you know how hard it is to wake up and be better than Elon Musk every day? And I don't mean me personally, but Elon beating Elon. That's why, Jordan had to go beat Jordan every day. Mm-hmm. How do you beat the last ring? I got to get another ring. How do you beat the last ring? Like Tom Brady. You got to do more. You got to do better. You got to improve. So what are some of the things that you've innovated or just worked through in becoming a better leader, better in most relationships, better for yourself, all that stuff?
For me, man, like, the one major thing that I've changed recently that it's just I've made a very clear decision is I just ended my relationship with alcohol. Like that's it, like me, like some people can do it and some people can, handle it. For me, it's just a bad relationship. And ever since I've just given it up and just chase this whole journey of sobriety, like my energy levels are through the roof. I feel like the universe is now opening more doors for me, ironically, because it's kind of like one of those things when you're not ready, like doors won't open for you. It's just it is what it is. I could get an opportunity, and if I wasn't ready for it, I feel like the universe is not going to offer that to you. And I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. There's no really science behind it. It's just people who know. And so that, and again, one of my mentors at Milet says, show me your habits, and I can tell you who you are as a person, And so it all starts with your habit. But, as far as innovating products, that doesn't mean anything if you're not going to innovate yourself and evolve daily. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah. And, that also requires people being responsible and accountable and taking a real close look at yourself. If you know you ain't shit or you have a defense mechanism every time somebody says something, I say things that could be perceived very harsh at times. But it's just calling the facts. It's like, this is what you're doing. And this is why you're getting this. And then I just walk off because I'm not arguing with anybody who's not where they need to be and who are complaining. Because most time you come to me with the problem and I tell you what the solution is and you don't want to do it, you already proven what the problem is. It's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking need you. You came to me because of what I'm doing, like a religion. And religion, you hear that all the time, but those who are really religious, they practice. They call it daily devotions. They get up every day, they read their Bible, they take care of their mind first, and they lead their day with the Spirit. I watched my grandmother before she passed since I was a kid. Nothing could keep her from practicing that habit. And as I got older, I began to appreciate it because not even my grandfather could stop her from doing that which she believed, which is put God first. So in my world, I'm like, we're going to put these dogs in this business first, and I'm going to put myself first and everything. And Jamarcus could tell you, even when I make food for everybody at the house, I always make my plate first. Yep. So I'm like, y'all can get the food because I didn't cook for y'all nowhere. I cooked out of the kindness so that everybody could eat, but I'm not going to sit down and let anyone, because if it's up to most people, they'll fucking eat everything and be like, thank you, and not say thank you sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you got to take care of yourself, and that's a hard pill for some people to swallow too, because some of y'all like suffering. So if you go innovate anything, invent the idea that you have to be the best in every room or best for yourself, and find people that are better than you in other areas so that you can grow. So, innovation. What's next for X-Dog?
What is next for X-Dog? Again, getting into new marketplaces. Again, we're working on getting on Walmart Marketplace, Chewy. We're looking to innovate our ability by offering our products in retail stores and fitness centers by creating our own possible franchise. That's what I'm trying to shoot for next. Just something that there's not one on the market as far as just like a actual fitness center where you can have memberships and just walk in kind of like an Anytime Fitness,
Yeah.
And then also have access to it and stuff like that. So those are our next things. And then obviously working on our funnels and just constantly working on marketing. Again, the firm that we hired on Amazon, they're full board on all 3 channels. We're seeing pretty significant growth across that, and just streamlining the systems and just fine tuning the systems even better. And so, that's what I'm really focused on. And obviously the marketing side, social media presence and building our machine over here, our personal brand machine as well.
Talk a little bit about why social media is important. I often tell people it's an equalizer. It makes everything, it normalizes basically everything the big businesses do. Because here's the facts. Nobody's watching TV like that no more. Therefore, you don't got to pay ad space for that. You can literally reach who you need to reach and touch who you need to touch with whatever you create. So I know you do a good job of basically spending the money and, even more importantly, engaging with the community that you've built. How important is it for people who are starting out to basically be innovative in even their approach to getting their social medias rocking and rolling? Well,
from what I've learned from some of my other mentors who are pretty big in the social media space, it's not like we're building this stuff, right? This is a pretty intricate thing for a podcast. We're building a whole room and stuff, but that shit's not as important as what type of content you're offering.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have fancy shit. Like, for example, I've done stuff that are super fancy and got no views. And then I've done stuff that we've done with fucking 30 seconds on an iPhone, and it just fucking takes off. And it's all about the message. So I would say if you're going to start off, one, you got to have some authority, right? So for example, if you're like a dog trainer, right, and you're in a city, master that city first, and then maybe want to expand out. You know what I mean? You got to have some skin in the game. People listen to me when it comes to product and innovation and stuff because I've got 18 years in this, you know what I mean? I got this 18 years in this space. So it's different. When I say something, there's a different type of authority compared to someone who just launched a new supplement product, it's just different. And so pay your dues. Like I said, I had over 1,000 days in a row where I asked for this individual to come in my life, and so it was over 1,000 fucking no's before I finally got this one yes. And a lot of people they want to fast track shit, and it's a grind. It probably needs to be part of your daily habits where you go, I'm gonna wake up. If I'm gonna do this social media stuff, then what am I going to do that brings value to the community or the space, and that educates, entertains, or inspires. That's it. And you're gonna hit and miss, and don't chase the likes, because what I also found out is that when I first initially launched Xdog, I had a lot of people who liked all my posts, because they had a wrong intent. Their intent was to try to get close to maybe have their vision be able to come to life, and then when I wasn't doing things for them that they expected me to do, next thing they stopped liking the shit. And then next thing I know, I'm surrounded by all these successful individuals, and these successful individuals are just like me. They're not going to have time to like everybody's post. So I segregated away from a bunch of sheep and started hanging out with a bunch of lions, and that's just what ends up happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And it took you 18 years to kind of walk down this road, and you're talking about innovation, and reinvesting into your business. As a new business owner, what's some advice as far as knowing when and where to reinvest in your business when it comes to innovating?
Invest as much as possible back into it. I look at this, man. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Khabib. He's an MMA fighter. He's 30-0 from Dagestan. Well, he's 29-0. His father passed away, and he could have been 30-0. But this guy, right? He's a Muslim, and he's worth millions of dollars. Like, he's a fucking really, really rich individual now, in a very, very, very poor country and he got rich because of fighting, right? But this guy, all Allah, pray, sleep, train, eat, pray, sleep, train, eat, nothing else.
Damn.
He's super disciplined, right? So disciplined. He probably won't even spend the money. You know what I mean? He has so much money being thrown at him because he is so disciplined with his craft. And that's what I constantly do here. Like, I pretty much live check to check because I take every penny I possibly can. Either I'm investing back into hiring a new employee, new system, new software, new product, new innovation. And That's it. I'm not buying fancy cars. You see, how many times have you seen me rock this shirt? This is the same shirt. I bought a whole,
bro,
like, I bought 1,000
shirt, shorts, some shoes, and a hat every single time, bro.
Every time.
And Trev's the same way, man. He gym shorts, gym shirt, and some shoes, bro.
If I put on a pair
some
of
slides,
jeans, people be they like.
If I have to dress up, I can actually go invest and dress up.
It's actually kind of odd though when you see them dress up though, bro. On both sides, man. Seriously, because you just get so used to seeing them.
I've practiced this. There are pictures as old as 10 years of me on the football field with a long sock and a short sock with kids, and I just look. I'm here for the work.
Yeah,
how I look is irrelevant. I know what you need to be better, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, trust me, people. I seen he walk in here with some slides, yo, like no cap. But Trev, what about you? You know, through that process, as far as innovation and reinvesting in your business, you know, what are some areas that you would focus on specifically?
Just yourself. I mean, it's really just simple. I mean, you've been around me for a very long time, man.
Yeah.
I could care less about the dollar amount. I have $100 million. I'll still be roaming around in flip flops. I've never liked fancy cars. I don't like chains and necklaces. I wear these feathers because I wrote a poem about them. And you know, when you was a kid, you grabbed a feather and you felt special. So it's symbolic to just remind yourself to take advantage and, you know, embrace every little thing that means something to you. But innovation is you know, you watching Jack grow up, you watching Rock grow up, you watching that for me, Hobbs, all the young men that I was able to pour into, and people still to this day. And the more people that I'm gonna be able to help long term, and the people I'm helping because we're pushing the dog things. But my thing is, let me get where I need to be so I can help some more people. That's all that's ever mattered. That's all that will ever matter.
And you can tell when people are serious about it when they're not really serious about it. You know what I mean? Like you can just tell. But you know, I'm just now at the point now where I'm like really investing into infinite banking and life insurance and stuff like that. But for me, what I was always told is that, you know, like for example, I can come out with a new product, right, where every unit I'm getting fucking 200-300% return on it. You know what I mean? And can't keep it in stock. Why would I want to go invest into something, an index that, you know, maybe only offers 7 to 12%? You know, it's not the right timing for me on a personal level. So every situation is probably going to be unique to that individual. You know, some people, I know how tough it is, man. Like, you know, when you know, raising capital and having, you know, the funds to be able to make your dream come true and your vision come to life, it's a struggle, especially when you're a startup. You know, it's tough, man, and it's not going to be easy, but it's not supposed to be easy.
And keep in mind, we're always starting up.
Yeah,
that's the part that people, if you ever get away from being creative and starting up, then your business is dead anyway.
No, that's facts, man. I felt that personally. I mean, I experienced that. You know, I got away from being creative, and stagnant happens really quickly.
There are no meeting rooms at Apple. There's the Mozart room. There's the Da Vinci room. There are rooms that are designed for creativity. And you know, when Gates was asked about, hey, you've got your software in every place in the world. He said, well, how do you feel about Microsoft's success? He said, well, there's two guys in this garage thinking of something we never thought about, and it was Google at the time, and it pissed him off. See, people think, hey, he's got all this. He's like, why didn't I think of that? Yep. That's how innovative people like Bezos and Elon, that's how they're thinking. Might give a shit about this damn money.
I don't think I've ever seen Bezos or, you know, Gates or anybody like that or even Elon where they're talking about their Armani suits or Gucci shit.
It's a cheap conversation, and hopefully you realize that if you're ever trying to stun or shine for people, I'm telling you, you can't shine bright enough. You want to really shine?
Yeah.
Do something that changes the world.
Well, you know, you look at Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and they started out as just little leather bag companies. Now they became these moguls, you know what I mean? Like, and just, or these moguls who just fucking are now competing against each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to buy the fucking, you know, Louis bag. I want to become the brand as big as Louis or more. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
And I believe X-Dog has that opportunity to be that. And so, I feel the momentum, you know. Every live, we're getting more listeners. We're getting more organic.
Hey, there was messages. A guy who asked me. He said, "Hey," he messaged me. He asked a different question. He said, "Hey, can you put this on your YouTube? I like watching your YouTube on my TV." And I was like, "Bro, that was on the Muscle Bully one, man. I can't. We didn't. It's on the Instagram. I said we can't like just add it to live, but there are people, which is why I've been doing 5 videos a day just for YouTube that are coming through, and like." Taking that stuff to heart and like, yo, I'm really thinking about the bigger picture. But it's funny that you said that because, you know, there's a lot of people who are reaching out daily, trying to figure out how to better their dogs.
And we're building this ecosystem where everybody has, like, you can tell, man, everybody has their little, you know, their value that they bring to the ecosystem. You know, like I didn't ask Zach to go ahead and build that little fucking banner and shit like that. He's the one who's setting all that up. He's like, hey, I'm offering value. But that shit sparks because he wants to be part of what we're doing, man. And so it's just kind of like you when you started doing the thumbnails without anybody asking you. Like, that's going to offer opportunity. Like, that's the type of person that got me into rooms. Like, I just, like, man, it wouldn't even fucking matter. Like, if I was to go get a job somewhere, I would, like I said, I would just, if I really wanted a job somewhere, right, I would go and ask if I could work for them for free, and then I would go work 2 other jobs to bring me income so I could just fucking bring them free value to the point where they go, well, fuck, we can't afford not to have this person a part of this team. He brings so much value, you know? But that's just the way I think. Most people don't think that way, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got any other questions, boss?
Actually, yeah, no, I do. So from talking about innovation, and I actually did have a question. This is for both of you guys because I know Trevor's big on the, you know, health and nutrition side when it comes to dogs. Specifically, my question is going to be about bones and trying to put more bone in my dog's diet, whether I do it naturally and then even talking about being innovative. You know, I know you have the bone dried supplements here as well too. You know, if I want to go the natural route, what is something that I can do? Because I don't want to just give him a full on bone. I'm worried about like my dog choking, etc.
Well, you got to understand the difference in bones, right? So, you know, for example, some people see a beef bone and it's understood as it's called a rec bone. You know what I mean? A recreational bone. Yeah. A bone that you monitor your dog to chew because those things can be dangerous. You know, those things can, you got to understand what bones you can cook and what bones you can't cook. And then you got to understand that if you cook the bones that you're going to be cooking a lot of the nutritional value out of them. What you're wanting out of bones is a full spectrum of essential minerals. That's what bone offers. It offers minerals. You can also get it out of certain soils and stuff too. So, you know,
if you're going to cook in the bones, he's saying what you actually want to do is go ahead and preserve the marrow. Okay. And not give him the bone. That's the real trick. If you're going to cook the bone, marrow only.
Because you're going to get calcium out of the bone, and you could probably get that from eggshells, you know?
Yeah. And so, but if you're giving the raw bone, you're good to go. That's going to help clean up, tighten up that breath, clean their teeth, etc. So it just depends on which bones you're giving.
Gotcha. And that was going to be why was it important, but you just hit the nail on the head too. So.
And you know the freeze dried bone and organ, you know, like that is specifically really extremely beneficial for those who feed any type of processed kibble, and that's just the bottom line, man. I mean, we've been probably the biggest lie that was told to us in the dog game in general, in the dog community as a whole, is that when you take a bowl of raw, that's not food, and this bowl of kibble is food. I walked into a fucking gas station yesterday to just use the restroom, and I saw dog food bags. I didn't even know who the fucking company was. It was such a bootleg style fucking dog food. And I go over there, right? And I look at the canned food, and it's like 6%. It just said 6% protein, and the rest was moisture, right? And it still met AFCO standards, like nutritional standards, as a food source for dogs, right? And then I look at this bag of dog food, and it didn't have any meat in it. It was like cornmeal, flour, you know, whole corn, all this other shit.
Just fillers.
Nothing but fillers, right? With a little bit, like not even a good Pre-Vitamix at the end of it. And it's still past AFCO. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to go to the gas station and do a video on this shit, because I think like that's one thing that I think that pushes us all as an ecosystem, is that we really want to push the truth. And we've all been bamboozled, and we've all been fucking lied to. And it's time to start fucking, you know, helping these dog owners, man. Their dogs thrive. We talked about it the other day, Trevor, in the live. It's like, yeah, this brand of dog food worked for my dog. Well, yeah, it may work to help your dog continue to live and maybe have less health-related issues than it currently has. But there's a difference between living and thriving. Yeah. There's a difference between maximizing genetic potential and just feeding your genetics. Yeah. You get what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I'm with you 100%. That's what we're doing.
So we're going to be talking about innovation. We're going to innovate knowledge and education to the general public using social media platforms as one of the big leverages.
And if you follow my shit, trust me, that's all you're getting. Even when I go and do, like, I'm going to do some entertaining stuff, but I live there. I die there. That's what I am.
Here's another thing, too. I think that's the thing that, you know, that I can see where your delivery on your messages and your delivery as well. Like I was really impressed with your delivery yesterday. Nice. Is that a lot of people are afraid to do reps and to look ignorant in front of people because they don't want they feel like everybody cares about them so much. But that's such a fucking ego-driven, arrogant fucking mindset that you think that everybody's going to really think about you like that. You know, think about this. we've all stopped. Like Will Smith is probably one of the most popular persons on the fucking planet. We
At
don't,
one time.
no, at one time, but we hardly even talk about his fucking slap anymore. You know, people forget after a few days.
Move on.
Yeah, everybody moves on, man. So it's one of those things where I don't know about you, but I enjoy like now, like my delivery in my lives and being able to produce my information and to pass my knowledge off in a live setting is so much more fine-tuned and accurate and crisp and clear because of all the reps that I'm doing on social media. It's not what I'm thinking about now. It's I'm always thinking about when I'm ready to present this exit, I want to be so fucking fluent and confident and right on point that whoever wants to go ahead and, you know, be a part of it, they're going to be like, all in.
Yep.
Boom.
Exactly.
And, you know,
I live there. Jamarcus, they know they got to grab my phone, and then I literally repeat the same thing. Now grab the camera.
Yep.
Everything I do is in 2 reps, if not 3, and then it'll be longer versions, which means all 100 step. I basically will have done 500 steps, and mind you, we did. I just told him last night. I wrote 100 steps down. That's only a month's worth of work.
yeah.
Because I got to drop something 3 times a day, and I'm putting out 5 videos on YouTube alone. So I love the repetitions. Everybody knows as you went to the gym with me, we do 100 reps. Period.
Yep.
That's the that's 300 rep warm up before
And
we go
Facts.
to 100 reps of 225 and whatever else. It's all business, all gas, no breaks. So and I need to know. I know everything. I know a lot about that human body. And I don't know enough about dogs, but I'm learning by the second.
Yeah, and I think that's with us, man, we're on episode 64. I mean, you've seen the innovation already over with us in the podcast. You know? I mean, it's going to get to the point, you know, where we're going to have the innovation set up to where we're going to be doing interviews with people around the world, you know, and that's going to be pivotal because I have so many people that want to come on this fucking podcast that are just super fucking intelligent dog people. They have so much knowledge, and so it's going to be interesting, man, to build this fucking network and just together, man, you know, elevate the whole dog ownership game.
Yep.
Boom. Here you go, man. Well, go ahead and hit him with that benediction, man.
Well, man, thank you all for tuning in. Continue to lead and inspire. When I think about X-Dog, you know, I don't think about anybody who's part of X-Dog as followers. I see you all as leaders because you guys are leading the way when it comes to, by example of how dog ownership should be. You guys are overachieving dog owners, and I'm grateful to be able to walk next to you and march with you in this mission of eliminating dog obesity and inspiring other people, man, to give their dogs a higher quality of life. So, man, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to share us, man. Share this episode. Do us a solid. We're doing this for free. We're coming out of pocket to give you this value and this knowledge. So, man, tell people about us, man, and tag us and do whatever you can, man. Leave us a solid ass review as well. That would really appreciate and help us out a lot. So, thank you again. And as always, Team X Dog Strong.